YouTube, what it do? What it do? It is your brother from another, Ethan J, coming back at you guys right from this video here in Ontario, Canada. So wherever you're signing in from around the world, I just want to wish you an honor and a privilege, and I just want to thank you for being here. We're having some fun, we're vibing, we're living life. We're thanking God for being alive every single day. And today we're going to get into it, guys. So let's get started. Cool little thing, guys. I just found out that apparently when you rock a denim jacket and denim jeans, you're actually rocking something that's called a Canadian tux. That's what they call it up north here. So hope you're vibing and styling from wherever you're at. It's an honor to be here. How are you? That's the first question I genuinely want to know. How are you? How's life going? Guys, it's so cool. Like, I've got so many ideas that I want to talk to you guys about today. But today I want to start off making this video, and I want to talk a little bit about an important video that I saw. It's on the forefront of my mind, and you guys know this. I don't really script my videos. There's no hook, but you know what? I'm going to start putting hooks, and I'm going to start working with the algorithm. You guys know the goal is 1 million subscribers. You guys know that the goal is going to be to create content that is so original and so authentic, and I want to be a voice for people that do not look like your generic content creator or spiel or spit the same rhetoric. I want to be very original with my approach. So with that being said, let's get into it. Have you been feeling like you've been lacking purpose recently? Have you been feeling like you're missing something? Like your calling or your place in your life has been taken away from you because of a job loss or calamity or a relationship breakup? Have you recently been broken up? Have you recently lost someone that you thought you would love for the rest of your life? Do you feel like you're not making enough money? Do you feel like God is not answering your prayers right now? Do you feel like you're lost in the whims of life, and your career that you thought that was going to bring you so much fulfillment has brought you nothing but heartbreaking loss and questions on if you're capable? I want to tell you that you are not alone. You are not alone. I spend a lot of my time, especially as of recently, which isn't healthy. I got to kind of, change up the routine for sure. But I've been spending a lot of my time on the YouTube algorithm. I've been looking at different content creators. I've been looking at what's being marketed to me. And I'm also noticing the themes on different applications like Threads and X and all these other places. And what I've learned is there's this reoccurring existential dread that's going on with a lot of people right now. And the first thing I want to say is I totally agree. I totally understand where everyone is coming from. Recently, guys, I lost an occupation, a role that I really, really invest a lot of my time into. And losing this role made me realize and really question myself. I went into the dumps, guys. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm just going to share with you guys my story first, and then I'm going to share with you guys how I can help you guys. I was so invested. I was so passionate about this thing, and I believed that this thing was my calling, so I went out there and gave it the best that I could. And then little did I know that, not only, even still, while I was, doing better than some of the new trainers on the team, I still got let loose. And the thing this taught me was, I've always been preaching this, but I'm preaching it more evidently now. You got to learn how to be resilient when it comes to job loss. It's hard, it's difficult, it's tough. You feel like you go through a season where you think that you found the answer. And I feel like the biggest thing about this world, and I think and I know the hardest thing about this world, is that finances play such a pivotal role to life. But I truly believe that every loss is a redirection and a trajectory possibility if you choose to see it that way, especially when you start to think of things from a more spiritual and a eternal perspective. Now, some of us don't have that perspective in mind, and losses like this can actually make us question our eternal belief and spiritual understanding and our own work ethic. So a few things that you want to always remember is asking yourself what you did wrong in that scenario, right? With this occupation, with this role, and getting feedback and things like that of that nature, so you can improve your own ability. But I think a bigger thing when understanding your purpose is you got to understand that no job, unless you created it, can really fulfill your purpose. People find purpose in their jobs for a lot of reasons, right? But usually the greatest attachments to that is when they attach it to helping and being of service to someone, right? Or the processes of a job, not the job in itself. Right? There's an example of a guy that loves working at Home Depot. I forgot who I got this from, but the guy doesn't love Home Depot. The guy that works there, the guy loves the fact that he goes and he helps renovate people's homes. Home Depot is the outlet to do so. So I think a big thing for anyone out there that's kind of lost in this season of job failure, not having the adequate skills, whatever the case may be, is to think about the skills you do have and leverage those skills so that it can help you make profits. So I was let go on October 6th, and I've already found 2 new jobs, and it's October 27th as I'm making this video. So I'm already back on my feet. And guys, the tools that I've used in my skill set, and I'm going to give you guys exactly what I've done, was the first thing was I've prayed, right? I'm not going to even denote that. I prayed to God, and I was in a hole, and I was really down, and I was, in deep prayer. And that humility in that prayer, I do believe, was answered with concrete action. But the next thing was I took action. The minute that I found out that I was let go from my role, I went back on the hunting board, and I was applying to jobs, referencing, talking to people, using my network, and immediately I bounced back really quick. So there's the action component of what you can do, and then also understanding, leveraging the current situation and not being down on your luck. Even in that, even though I'm blessed and I'm privileged to work with a new company, I've got a great opportunity to start to learn something in my field, and I've met some phenomenal people that I think are even more aligned to my purpose than the current gyms and places that I was at. If I didn't align my actions, I wouldn't have got these roles first. But the second thing was I kind of fell into some bad habits. And I want to talk to you guys about that as well. I think one of the hardest things as humans is when we get down on our luck sometimes, especially as you get older, you kind of don't want to tell people what's going on. You kind of can't, because you'll get this look of shame and guilt, and you don't want to feel like you could be transparent with people. And what can occur is that you kind of get into this bubble of you, yourself, and your woes. And then the smoking, the drinking, the X videos, whatever your thing might be, might creep up. So for anybody out there that's going through a serious problem, my advice for you, man, is really reach out to someone in your community, man, to reach out and just talk to someone if you're going down on a loss. And this will help you navigate that season a little bit better. But more importantly than just navigating that season, this is also going to help you address and understand what you need to do. Sometimes the best thing that we could be is be a light for someone when they're in a dark time. And you will know how important that is when you go through a dark time. So don't be hard on people when they go through it, right? And I think even deeper, God has put me through a lot of dark times so I can be a light to other people. It's one thing to talk about it to get views, but it's another thing to talk about it because I've literally been that person. Right? So I can give you advice from a holistic standpoint and from a placement of I was you and I found a way out and this is what I did. So this is for anyone that's going through job loss and going through struggle and who's kind of lost in the purpose of getting back on their feet. That's what I'm going to label this video, how to get back on your feet. If you want to get back on your feet, the first things you have to do, in my opinion, are mentally detach yourself from what you thought was your purpose and your calling, that vocation, right? Because we attribute so much of our status and our income to that job. The next thing is to pray to the Lord. For me, that's Jesus Christ. But to each his own. And the next thing is to start aggressively attacking the marketplace. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about strengths in the next video and why it's super important to leverage your strengths, whatever you can do and can use to get you a chance at using that skill and sharpening it. And if you don't know what your skills or your strengths are, stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit about strengths and skills and how to identify things that can help you kind of move a little bit forward. That being said, this one's going to be quick. This is how to bounce back and get back on your feet after job loss. If you like this video, it would be an honor and a privilege for you guys to like, comment, and subscribe. I make very honest, authentic content meant to help people in places from the bottom rise to better positions. And the goal, of course, as you guys know, is always going to be 1 million subscribers. I believe it in the heart of hearts, and I know it's going to happen. And I'm going to help a ton of people along the way. Be blessed. Ethan J, signing out.